Now we're going to learn a system on how to read individual notes or melodies on the guitar. It's called tablature, and it's used a whole lot on the internet and in books, and it's a really quick and easy way to communicate which notes are to be played instead of learning how to read traditional music on paper, which I really recommend, and it's really a beautiful way to play music. But the tablature is what's used a lot by guitarists, and you find it a lot at websites called olga.net, or you do a search on guitar tab or tab crawler. There's so many out there. And if you know the song and how it goes, learning the tablature becomes a real easy way to play the melody and to learn chords and a whole lot of other things on the guitar. So let's look at what tablature looks like in its raw form. When we look at guitar tablature, we're looking at a visual representation of the neck. Here we have the high E string up on top, and it's the string itself. We have the B, the G, the D, the A, and the low E at the bottom. So you're looking at a horizontal picture of the neck of the guitar without the frets. We're going to put numbers on those lines to tell you where on the neck to play which note. Let's look at it like this. So each number represents where and when you put your finger, which is usually just behind the fret, right? To play that note on that string. Now when you see a 0, that means it's open. You don't put your finger anywhere. And you read from left to right, like you would a book in English. So let's see what we have here. We have a B string open. We have a B string on the 3rd fret. We have an E string open and a B string open, 3rd fret. Now, why don't I play what's written there, and I want you to play it too. Very slowly. Ready? Go. Right, so that last note there is an open G string. And before that was the 2nd fret of the G string. And then we would end with that open G string. So that's what tablature is all about. Sometimes it can get a little bit complicated, but basically, if you just go slow and look at it carefully, you can figure it out. So let's try to play a melody in tab. Okay, here's the melody we're going to play. It's the beginning of Scarborough Fair. So you could see that we're going to play the G string on the 2nd fret 2 times and the open E string 3 times and so on. So make sure you've printed this out and let's give it a try. I'm going to pluck down with my thumb to make these notes, one string at a time. Okay? And the fingers on my left hand, I'll use the 2nd finger to start with and sometimes the 1st finger. And we'll try to make it real logical. There's no rule on tablature which finger to use, but I'm telling you on the guitar, certain fingers make things a little bit easier. So we'll start with our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. Then open on the high E string. Now open on the B, 1st fret on the B, open on the B, and 2nd fret on the G with my 2nd finger. Then open on the high E, 1st finger on the 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the 5th fret, 1st finger, open, 1st finger again on the 2nd fret, and 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and open on the high E string. Now let's try that. Ready? Go. Good. Let's try that again. Ready? Go. Good. Now let's try our song, How Can I Keep From Singing? So we need to look at the tab before we move on. Now here's the tab for our song. Don't worry about the chord symbols above the tablature lines. We'll get to that in a minute. This is the first part, and I'm going to give you the second part, and then we're going to give it a try. And here's the last line. Now with those chords, we'll eventually use them. But first we'll play the melody the way it is. So if you've written this out, make sure you write the chords too. We're not going to play it first. So now we're going to play the melody using the right hand's thumb, and we're going to find good fingering and try to watch me and do the fingerings I do. For example, I'm going to start on that open D and use my second finger, then open, and then open, second finger, and so on. But you'll get it. You're going to have to practice this because it's the first time really we're playing a whole melody. And we're going to be using this idea a lot later. So let's give it a try. Ready? Go. Good. Now, with those chord symbols above that we had there, every time you see a chord symbol, don't play the note that's right below it, play the chord. So we can make a melody with the chords and be real nice as an introduction or a middle part or the ending to this song when we sing it and play it. I'm going to play it with the chords. Try to keep up with me and work on this because really it's our first time playing a guitar melody with accompaniment. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Good. You could do that right at the beginning and then start singing. Or you could do it in the middle after the second verse and then after that do the third verse. But it's really beautiful to play guitar melody. This way you can just sit back and play a full sound on the guitar. One last time, and then you got to work on it on your own. Here we go. Ready? go. My life goes on in endless song above the earth's lamentations, and so on like that. Could be a real nice introduction. So work on this tablature, really get to know it. We're going to be using it again. Try to understand how tablature works visually. You'll get it after a while. And after a while, if you keep working on this, you'll be able to read some tablature pretty quickly. You won't have to go over and over it like you did at first. So understand it, then go through each example really slowly and try to master it. Don't just rush through it. Try to make it smooth. Then try our song, How Can I Keep From Singing? Just the melody. Get it really smooth first. Don't rush into doing the chords. Then after a day or so, add the chords and really work on that for a while. That's really the heart of this lesson. I really want you to get this idea of chords and melody. Now if you find a different finger works well with different parts of the tablature, by all means use it. Try to make it what's comfortable. You might be going to G and you say, gee, I'd rather use my first finger. I'm more comfortable with my third finger or my second finger. Do what's comfortable for you. And if eventually you'd like to try to use another finger, just do it. But make it comfortable for yourself. Now practice the song a lot this week and try putting it at the beginning of the song, the tablature and chords, and then sing the whole song. And don't forget our other songs too. Let's go through all our songs this week a lot.